What's going on? Welcome to the Awareness Channel. My name is TC. Today's Friday. There's a whole bunch of different directions I could go in. So I'll start with this one while I talk my shit. Talk a little shit about the Three Stooges. Who are the Three Stooges? Well, that's J.D. Vance, the Vice President. That's Pete Hegseth, the drunk one, Secretary of Defense, and Stephen Miller. I think he Deputy Chief of Staff or something for Donald Trump, the alien. Them three motherfuckers was caught on camera the other day, all three at the same time, getting heckled. People was talking about why the National Guard got to be on the streets of D.C. and why are these other southern states sending more troops into D.C. A place, mind you, where the violent crime rate is on the decline. A city that's doing good. They have to get up there and say the dumbest shit ever to justify the bullshit that they're doing. So, they go with the streets are safer and crime was out of control and the homeless people was taking over, blah, blah, blah. They go with all that. But the people in the background wasn't cutting them no slack. The people in the background was heckling the shit out of them. Yeah. And they couldn't take it either. Each one of them took turns flipping the fuck out. I don't know if Hegseth said anything, but the other two certainly did. Now, whenever I hear Stephen Miller talk, he sounds like he about to bust into tears to me, And the more you heckle his ass, the meaner shit he gets Donald Trump to do. He should just stay off camera altogether. Because he's a weird looking dude anyway. That's why I call him an alien. And Pete Hegseth, he always looked like he needed a drink to me. He always looked like he drunk and still drinking, took a bath and still stinking. Shout out to my brother-in-law Frank for that one. But that's what Pete looked like to me all the time. He looked like he just had a drink or on his way to go get a drink. And then J.D. Vance with the eyeliner on, he's a special case all by himself. Now he got hopes of getting in the White House after Trump. I don't know. I can't say. I didn't think Trump was going to get back in there, but he got back in there. But J.D. Vance, he got hopes of getting in there after Trump, so he only going to say so much. But he's a young man, so he might get 2 or 3 tries at it. But we'll see. But anyway, other states are sending more troops into D.C. because they just want to, it's all symbolism because ain't nothing going on in D.C. that hasn't been going on for a long time. And the crime rate is on the decline, so this is all just political theater and show. Part of the game that I always talk about, that Donald Trump is apparently losing. So he's trying all kinds of shit, to get people's mind off that Epstein shit that he got caught up in. So he's doing all kind of big bodacious shit so that he can distract people. But people are still focused on him. Another thing Trump did. I said I was going to talk about the Three Stooges, but all you can say about them three motherfuckers is they are Three Stooges. Trump sent troops down to try to overthrow Nicolas Maduro down in Venezuela. He sent something like 4,000 Marines down there. And I don't know what they're going to do. Whether they're going to land or they're just going to lay off the coast, what they're going to do. But they're down there getting ready to fuck with Venezuela. He going to take some oil. Now, look at it. I look at that shit like this. When you send gunboats to a country to take something from them, because that's what he said, go look at the video, We could have had all of that oil if I'd had my way. We'd have had all of it. He wants the oil down in Venezuela, so he gonna take it at gunpoint. What's the difference between what he doing and what they claim people are doing in D.C., sticking people up at gunpoint? He doing it on a larger scale. He got enough money to hire a whole goddamn navy of thugs to come in and try to jack a country. What's the difference between that and the shit they claim to be protecting people from in Washington, D.C.? You see, it ain't no difference. You go into somebody's country with a big ass gun and say, give me your shit or I'm going to shoot everybody down here. They using the pretense that they down there to stop drug smuggling from all the way from Venezuela. It's got to come all the way through Central America, all the way up through Mexico and into the United States. Yeah, okay, that's happening. No, the truth of the matter is they want Venezuela's oil. Just like they wanted Syria's oil and Iran's oil. No, not Iran, Iraq's oil. They want everybody's fucking oil and they want to take it at gunpoint. What is the difference between that and what they claim the so-called thugs in D.C. are doing? Ain't no difference. You feel me? And when they go down there, if they go down there and go into Venezuela, they probably gonna lose again. You're probably gonna lose again. What are you gonna do? Get another 20-year war going where you got troops in Venezuela for the next 20 years? You know? Gonna fuck around and go down there in them jungles, and it's gonna be the same as it was back in Vietnam back in the day, where a whole bunch of young people gonna be coming home disabled or unalived altogether, while rich people get richer and poor people get used and thrown away. That's what he's talking about doing. That's what he's talking about doing. Now the troops are supposedly already down there. So we're going to see what the next step on that is. Because Trump, he needs these distractions, you know. He needs them. And speaking of Trump, again, old boy coming apart at the seams. People talking about how swollen his ankles are and how he can't walk in a straight line and how he can't hold a thought. Pretty much all the same shit he was saying about Joe Biden when Joe Biden was in his last days in the White House. There's people out there saying Trump ain't going to make it through the next year. I believe the motherfucker going to be there for the next 3 years. And at the end of them 3 years, he going to be all tore up. Because he damn near all torn up now, but he going to be all torn up at the end of them 3 years. But I don't hold out no hopes that he ain't going to make it. You feel me? The country already going to hell in a handbasket, but I don't hold out any hopes that he ain't gonna make it, because just when you think he all done, he float back to the top like a stubborn turd of shit that just won't flush down the damn commode. And on a different note, every city that I can think of, every year, increase their police budget. Every year they increase their police budget, add more cops, buy more goddamn weapons. My wife just came home. Buy more weapons, but the crime rate don't never go down. The crime rate don't never go down. And every year, they claim they got to get tougher and tougher and tougher on crime. So what they doing with all this money? The only budget that never gets cut, is the police budget. The only one. Everything else, the school budget, they closing schools, they firing teachers, they ain't building no low-income housing because they can't find the money. But they always seem to find money to add more cops. So if they're adding more and more cops all the time, why do they need the National Guard inside the cities? If they're adding more cops all the time, why do they need more cops inside the cities? If I was a cop, I'd feel some type of way about that. I'd be like, what, y'all think I can't do my job or something? Y'all gotta have these motherfuckers over my shoulder? I'd feel some type of way. If I was a cop, I'd never be a cop, but if I was one, that's how I would feel. If I was a police chief in the city, I'd be like, these motherfuckers think I ain't no good. I ain't worth a damn. Me and my guys, we gonna stand down and let y'all handle it. You know, y'all got bigger guns than we got. Every year, they increase police budgets all across the country. And every year, they say they got the same problem. And this year is so bad until they got to bring in the National Guard. Somebody need to explain that one to me because, you know, it don't make no sense to me. Actually, it does make sense. It makes a whole lot of sense because a lot of people line in their pockets. But I'm saying on the surface, it's just backward thinking. You know, and if I can figure it out sitting right here, I know somebody with a lot more detail and information than I have can figure out what's happening. But the bottom line is this. Donald Trump, with all of these distractions, he may not be able to shake this Jeffrey Epstein thing. Because them pictures of him and Epstein, they've been on the internet for a long time. I can't say whether or not it's going to bring him down or make him resign or any of that. But I just know that shit ain't going away. And I just know that he was closely associated with Jeffrey Epstein. And he was all up at the on the Lolita Express down on the private island, messing with the little chickadees. I know he was. Well, put it this way. I can't say I know because I wasn't there. I'd be willing to bet that he was. You feel me? And now he throwing anything out there that he can, creating crisis after crisis, distraction after distraction, trying to get people's minds off of that. And I'm going to tell you something else I thought about today. Usually, after about 2 weeks, a story will change, you know, and some shit will get out the news cycle. This Jeffrey Epstein shit, it don't seem to be doing that. I'll wait a couple more weeks and maybe it'll die down, but it don't seem to be doing that. The only way I could see the Jeffrey Epstein story getting pushed to the back is if he actually starts a war down in South America and troops land in Venezuela and he actually tries to overthrow that Maduro guy. Because they tried it the last time. You know, they had this clown they was calling the president of Venezuela. I forget his name, it'll come to me, but they had this clown that they was calling the president of Venezuela, but the people didn't dig it. See, that's the thing about Venezuela. The people down there love their leader. The people down there love their leader. And they stand behind their leader, and they don't want nobody coming in, overthrowing them and telling them who their leader should be. You feel me? So when they tried to install that fool back in 2017, 2018, whatever it was, it didn't work. You know, the white Venezuelans try to fuck over the black Venezuelans, just like in any other part of the world. You know, outside of Africa. They fuck each other over, but the white people usually trying to fuck over the dark people in every other part of the world. And that's what was happening down in Venezuela, and it didn't work. And it ain't gonna work this time. But if Donald Trump send them troops in there and they get mired down in a conflict, He hoping maybe that will take people's mind off the fact that he was down there with Jeffrey Epstein for a long time, and how Jeffrey Epstein and him was best friends for a long time. But yeah. And then there's the matter of Donald Trump's health. Yeah, like I said earlier, he gonna be there for, he ain't going no motherfucking way. That would be too easy. And if he was to check out early, we'll get J.D. Vance. Do you really want J.D. Vance as president of the United States? Do you? That's something that I'd have to think about. I don't know if I want J.D. Vance as president of the United States or not. I mean, until Trump term ends. You know? Oh, and one more thing. Trump also said that he, and I heard this now out of his own mouth, he want to go on patrol on the streets of D.C. with the National Guard soldiers. He want to go out there with them. I don't know if the Secret Service will let him do that. That'd be like a national security risk. So I don't know if they're going to let him do that. He might have just been yapping. But that's what he claimed he want to do. How you going to do your job when you got this damn near 80-year-old man limping behind you? What if they have to chase somebody? What he going to do? I think that was just him. Drunk on motherfucking Adderall and running his mouth. I wouldn't, if I was a Secret Service guy, I wouldn't, if I was his Secret Service detail, I wouldn't let him do that. I wouldn't let him do that. But that's what Donald Trump said he's going to do. All up on the roof of the White House, talking about he want to put nukes up there. Right now, he's doing dumber and dumber shit. And the people around him have to make it make sense. And the people around him have to make it make sense. But still, for 3 more years, he going to sit there and rot and rust. And then he going to take the country down with him. The economy, the one that everybody thought that, you know, he was going to be so good for, it's in the toilet. Have you been to Walmart lately? I was just there. Have you been to Walmart lately? You got to readjust your whole thinking. At least you drop $150 every time you step through the door. You got to readjust your thinking. And that's this great economy that Trump was talking about. Them tariffs that he went so crazy over, them shits are starting to hit home now. Shit is 20, 30, 40, 50% more expensive than it used to be. Something that costs $1, depending on where it come from, now it costs $1.50. Something that used to cost $2, now it costs $3. Shit just going up and up and up. And it's hard to notice at first. But then when you get to the checkout counter, god damn, you ain't bought but 5 items and you done spent $40. Where did it go? Where does all that money go? It go right back into the federal government. And this is what I say. This is when I don't think I heard anybody else say this, but that money is used to help pay for the big tax cuts that the billionaires got in the big bullshit bill. Cut social programs, raise taxes on the working poor, cut taxes on the very rich. You can't just straight out say I'm raising taxes on everybody. You have to do it in the form of these tariffs. Now, I worked in the automotive industry for, 3-4 years. And I know that a lot of the parts come from other parts of the world to assemble an American car. Depending on where those parts come from, they got varying amounts of tariffs on them. It's driving the prices of the cars up and up and up. The cars are going to sit on the lot. I know I ain't buying no motherfucking car in no time soon. I'm a truck guy anyway, but I ain't buying no truck no time soon. You know, my wife's car, she just got it. She just got it under the wire, so her car's good for the next 4 or 5 years. So we ain't budging. The housing market down here in Florida is in the toilet. The whole country is feeling this bullshit economic policy. But it ain't no different from when any other. Well, it's different this time because of the tariffs, but it's similar to the shit that other Republicans do when they get in power. Remember how George Bush fucked the economy all up? Barack Obama had to come in behind him. Remember when Bill Clinton had left George Bush a surplus? Right away, it was gone and we was in the hole. You see? Now these tariffs, because they affect us directly, because they pull money out your pocket directly, this is a whole different ball game. Bumping up the taxes, your income tax and that's that type of shit. That's sneaky. But these tariffs, this is what you do every day. This is the stuff you need every day: clothing, food, supplies for your job, supplies for your business, this, that, the next, whatever you need. You got to go to Walmart or Target or somewhere to get it. And most of it is manufactured outside the United States. And not all of that has tariffs on it. And all of those tariffs are paid by you and me and your neighbor and your co-worker. Not the companies who import the shit. They pass that shit along to you. And they know you're going to need it because they've made the product so shitty until they break every 2 or 3 years, and you got to go get another one every 6 months. Some of them you got to go get another one. So, they got the planned obsolescence built in. So you got to keep spending. So you got to keep paying these taxes. These tariffs. These taxes. You feel me? So that's where Donald Trump's economic policy got us at right now. So the only thing, I said this many times, the only thing that going the way Donald Trump wants it to go is his immigration policy. And the only reason why that's going the way he wants it to go is because he lining them goddamn DEA and ICE agents and police departments with cash and offering them little 18-year-old boys, making them offers that they can't refuse. A lot of them little motherfuckers will go to college, But now they don't have to go to college because you can go in there and be an ICE officer at 18 years old right out of high school and make, $30, $40 an hour with a goddamn $50,000 sign-on bonus. Why go to college, to study some bullshit when you can get in with the ICE officers and go harass brown and black people and make $100K a year with just your high school diploma? You feel me? Because after a while, it ain't going to be nothing else out there. And all that is hiring one half of the poor to deal with the other half of the poor. That's Donald Trump's economic policy. You feel me? So, all of you MAGAs out there, and all of you Negro MAGAs out there, this is what you voted for. To recap, you had the Three Stooges coming out here justifying the troops in D.C. and justifying all these other states that are sending troops to D.C. You know what I mean? You had two knuckleheads and a dipshit talking about how much safer DC is because the troops are there. J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller, and drunk ass Pete Hegseth. You had two dipshits and a knucklehead doing that. Then you got President Do Dirty with his big ankles and his orange makeup, trying to distract everybody by damn near bringing a war, starting another war that we probably ain't gonna win, just so he can steal some oil. And to distract away from how shitty his economy is and how bad those tariffs are fucking you over. Think about all that over the weekend. Oh, and hope like hell that he don't quit early. I say I don't want him to quit early because I want to see him get the full extent of all of the bullshit that he doing. I really do. I want to see him, be held accountable for it. I don't want him to quit early and have J.D. Vance get in there and push the reset button on all of the bad policy. No. Okay, so I guess that's where we're at, right, y'all? That's where we're at. But anyway, I'm going to close out on that one, land my plane, as they say, and get my weekend started. If something pop into my head, though, I might come back on and shoot y'all another video. But right now, I'm finna get my weekend started. Y'all have a good weekend, y'all own self. And if nothing don't pop off, I will see y'all Monday. Thanks for coming by and listening to me talk my shit. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. Catch you on the next one. TC, and I'm out. Peace.